what I'm doing today is, you saw us do the video on the Losi 124 scale. Awesome cars. We've had a lot of fun with them. We've also had a lot of problems with them. So, this is the crappy 27 megahertz AM radio that comes with these. Okay, why Losi didn't just go ahead and put on the standard receivers, I don't know. Probably a cost issue. Who knows? So, I've been sitting down for the last week or so trying to figure out there's got to be a better, less expensive way to resolve the issue than what Losi has out available. Their solution is to replace the receiver / ESC with one of the Spectrum ones, which also means you have to go out and buy one of the expensive Spectrum controllers. That's not an option for me right now. I feel like what you spend on these cars go for about 120 bucks a piece. They should have some decent hardware in them. So I contacted Losi. This one isn't as bad. You still have to have the antenna extended out all the way and just running around here down in our basement. It does okay. My Truggy, I've had some issues with. Like, you have to actually have the extended out all the way and have it pointed towards the car. That's kind of unacceptable. I contacted Losi and they said, okay, let's go ahead and we'll send you a new receiver ESC, standard AM style. Okay, I put it on, didn't resolve the issue. So I sat down and figured out a way, I'm hoping, and we'll learn, this is going to be a learning experience for both of us, through trial and error, a better way to resolve the issue. And what I have here is the Electrifly C12. It's a micro ESC. I believe it's a 12 amps, so it shouldn't have any issues running this motor. And it is for brushed. I'm keeping everything brushed just for right now, just because I don't feel like swapping out the motors. The other thing I got was the Losi micro servo. It's the 3-wire, because the servos that are on these cars are 5-wire, I believe, 5-wire, and they only work with the speed controller that's on. So I bought this. I do believe, from what I read, you can get most any micro servo will work, but you have to cut off the ears, and I wanted to make sure that this thing was going to fit right back in, because the way the servo fits in there, the top plate that covers everything is really what holds the servo in place. Plus, too, the horn is different. So I'd have to make something. I didn't want to rig anything. These were like 20 bucks. So I went that route. I think this was another 20. And then I went with, since we have the Fly Sky controllers, I went with the Fly Sky receiver. So probably what I'm going to have to do is uncase this, and just to make everything fit down in there. But I think with these two, they're small enough, I think I can get them to fit. I don't think it's going to be an issue. So yeah, so I'm going to walk you through step by step how I do it. If it doesn't work, then hey, I'm not going to edit it out of the video. It'll be a learning experience for both of us, so you'll know what to do or what not to do. And I hope that this a lot of people can take notes from this, and I hope it works, and I hope a lot of other people can do the same thing, because this setup here cost me right about 50 bucks. So I was able to do both cars and convert them for 100 bucks, whereas the Losi conversion cost about, I think it was like $75 or $80, and then you got to buy the controller, which can run anywhere from $100 to $300 depending on, I think I may have seen some cheaper ones for around the $50 or $60 mark, but still. So you do the conversion that they wanted, that they offer, and you've got just as much in the car as you do in the conversion. So now you have a $250 car, which is just absolutely insane. So let's see if this works. Okay, so the first thing I did was I got to unhook this, and there is the screws here, two here, two here, and two here. Little bitty guys. You need to get something tiny, like very, very small, to take them out. You also have to take the crystal out. Now that should come right off. There we go. Yeah, so you can see what I was talking about. This fits in the casing and it holds it down. So I'm gonna try to reuse as much of this case. I may have to cut it, and I'm thinking if I cut it somewhere back here, that'll still leave me the screws to hold that down, and then I'll be able to have room to put all the electronics back in there. Here's the fly sky, and on this one here, there's 4 little screws in the back. If you take that off, the inner receiver. Now I just want to warn everybody, any of this stuff that I'm doing will void your warranty. So if you care about the warranty, do not do this. It's got some little sticky stuff on the inside, so it's kind of hard to pry off. But don't stick anything metal up there. You don't want to damage the antenna wire. Just if you get your fingers underneath it, just pry on it, you'll get it off there. So there's that, and I'm thinking that's going to go right there, like this. But I think what I'm going to have to do, that's going to fit perfect too, is I'm going to have to shave off that little nub sticking up. Okay, so as you can see, I cut off that little nub, and there was also these little fins that were sticking up off of the motor cover. I did cut those off. That way this is going to sit down on there nice and square, and I think that's going to work right there like that. And that's going to work really nice. And I think I'm going to have to do minimal cutting on the cover to get it to fit, which I'm not really worried about that. I'll do whatever it takes to get it on there. And cool. So now I'm going to work on the ESC. Let's get this thing set and ready. Okay, guys, keeping up with the whole trial and error thing. This ESC does not work, and from what I can gather, I'm assuming it's because I think this ESC is set up more for the side-by-side toggle control, like what you find on the quadcopters. This is a quadcopter ESC, so I couldn't get the throttle position right on it. So what I did was I ordered one of these. Actually, here's the one that I got with the lead soldered on it. I didn't take them off at the board. I just cut them, soldered on, and put on my heat shrink tube. And this does work. I tested it. So I know for a fact it does work. This is and I'll show you the up close image of it's a 10 amp bus to feed in, however the heck you say that, ESC brush speed control. I got this thing off of Amazon. It was like 12 bucks. So, and it was Prime, so I got it in 2 days. And so I'll post a link to all the stuff, all the components that worked. I'll post that down below so everyone can see what I used for this conversion. So the only thing is with this one, it doesn't come with instructions. All you get is the bag. So what I had to do was figure out which one is the battery and which one is for the motor, and I'll show you why here in a second. So if you look at these ends, it doesn't tell you anywhere on here positive or battery or motor. So the ends are actually not the same, but they fit together, male and female. See? So what I figured out was this one, which is the female, this end is the battery. As you can see, here's the battery. So undo that, put that on there, good to go. And the other one is for the motor. Your blue wire on the motor lead and on the motor itself is your common, or your ground. So that's going to go to the black, okay? Orange is going to be your power. So set it up just like this. And then same thing with the battery. Black is black to black, red to red. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's got an on-off switch, which is kind of nice, and it also has this, which I'm assuming is the LiPo or the nickel metal hydride switch to switch between whichever one it is. I'm not running LiPos right now, so I've got to figure out which way is which. So that's it. This thing is going to fit really nicely on here, right where I was going to put the other one, like that. And that's it. So I'm going to get this all put together, get it all wired, get everything tidied up, and I'll show you guys how it works. This is it. As you can see, I had to cut out quite a bit at the top there, but it still works. The important part here is the part that holds the servo down, and it's all in there nice and tidy, I think. Well, as tidy as it's going to get. I couldn't figure out how, well, I could, but I didn't spend the time to put the on-off switch back here, because I would have had to cut that out bigger. So I figure I'll just leave it like it is. I'll probably just leave the switch on, and then just plug and unplug the battery. It's not that big a deal. Or maybe find a way to stick it through one of the sides or something like that. So I'll worry about that later. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, so even with one of my concerns was the way the servo wires stick up. Was the body going to fit on there? And I got to tell you, it does. It's kind of nice. Fit it on there, and then put the, there you go, just like that. Find the front one. There you go, just like that. And you got to push down a little bit because the wires do kind of push against it a little bit, but there's enough there you can get your clips in it, and here, we'll turn it on, and I'll just show you that everything works. Okay, so I'm working on AJ's car here, and it occurred to me, why didn't I think of this sooner as far as the on-off switch? So what I did was I just unsoldered the switch off of the old one here and cut the wires and soldered it on to the new one. So that way it'll fit right back in there nice and neat. What I did on mine, and I'll probably keep it that way, is I just mounted the switch right here, and I'll cut those nubs off because it doesn't really get in the way of anything, so it should be fine there. And maybe down the road I'll take it apart again and do the same thing I did with the other one. So if you're doing this little conversion and you're good with solder, I'd say that's the way to do it right there. Okay, so the battery's in it. Turn it on. Good to go. Here we go. Good. Awesome. And left and right, just like normal. All by using my Fly Sky. So there you have it, guys. We'll post some video. I'm gonna get this one done here, get AJ's done, and then I will post some video at the end here of us running them around the basement. So stay tuned.